Daisy's name is making news once more, but not for a surprise appearance or a new album. No, it's much more personal this time. After years of claiming to be Jay-Z's son, a young man named Rymir has finally been allowed to proceed with his paternity case. Additionally, the internet is booming. Jay-Z has been formally instructed by the judge to reply to the court filing by July 18th. Furthermore, it's no longer merely common celebrity gossip. Documents, witnesses, lurid claims, and even other celebrities like Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent are joining the fray. Let's go back a moment now. The tale of Rymir is not new. For more than 10 years, he has been shouting into thin air that his mother, Wanda, had a one-night affair with Jay-Z in 1992. He claims that after meeting in Philadelphia and hooking up in Brooklyn, they were done. Jay disappeared. Despite initially listing her ex-boyfriend on the birth certificate, Wanda ended up becoming pregnant, and in 2011, a DNA test ruled him out. Sean Corey Carter was the only remaining man in the picture. Indeed, Jay, however, has resisted taking a DNA test for years. Why? Things start to feel strange at that point. It becomes more sticky at this point. Wanda was just 16 at the time of their purported meeting. Jay-Z was 22. That is more than just dubious if Ramirez's claims are accurate. It might have constituted a crime. And it might help to explain why Jay's legal team has put so much effort into burying the news and avoiding legal action. Because the issue in this case goes beyond whether Jay-Z is a person's father. It concerns whether he committed a significant crime and covered it up for decades. Additionally, the cover-up theory has merit. According to Rymir's godmother, Beyonce attempted to shut down the entire thing herself. She allegedly heard a buddy from her camp say, "Tell that little boy to go away." That is certainly unconfirmed, but it supports Rymir's assertions that influential individuals were attempting to suppress him. He even claimed that late at night, people tried to enter his home through the back door. That goes beyond celebrity squabbling. It sounds like intimidation. But then the unexpected turn of events occurred. Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent get involved. As usual, the 50s have been stirring things up by repeating Rymir's case on all of his social media accounts. Additionally, Nicki fueled the flames by implying that this may be the reason Jay-Z was first popular. She even added a cryptic "To God be the glory" to some of the 50s content that she reposted. Passive interest wasn't all that. She co-signed the story at that point. And there's now talk of a far darker angle, just when it seemed like things couldn't get much messier. Asserts that Jay-Z allegedly participated in an unethical transport scenario that resulted in the birth of Rymir. Although we don't yet have receipts for that, it says volumes that a court is permitting this case to proceed. Why not discard it again like you did previously if it were wholly unfounded? Let's be honest. Jay-Z has a reputation for staying in a battle. Without hesitation, he files a lawsuit if someone wrongly accuses him. However, in this instance, crickets. He has spent years avoiding it. Nothing, no DNA test, no answer, just quiet. And at last, the quiet is catching up with him. The court filings were a bombshell. The judge granted the ex parte motion and stamped the order with a strict deadline, stating that Jay-Z's legal team must reply to the complaint made by Lily Coley against Sean Corey Carter. This wasn't a disorganized Twitter thread or a blog rumor. This was an authorized green light. Rymir's years of being dismissed and silenced now had a chance to become something tangible. And Rymir's victory isn't the only one. There is a change in the atmosphere around the case as a whole. He felt as though he was yelling into thin air for years. His repeated attempts to demand a paternity test were repeatedly denied by courts, who said they had no jurisdiction or that Jay-Z didn't actually live in New Jersey. Rymir, however, was not going to back down. He continued to present documents, information, and what he claims are receipts proving Jay-Z owned property in the state at the time. Rymir claims that one of the biggest bombs was that Beyonce's own mother, Tina Knowles, claimed in her book that Jay actually owned property in New Jersey. That isn't merely a formality. If verified, Jay-Z's defense that he shouldn't be obliged to submit to the DNA test in that jurisdiction would be totally undermined. All of a sudden, this is no longer a he said, she said situation and has legal standing. Both Rymir's expanding lists of fans and the internet swiftly took notice. It seems as though things have finally begun to change. However, despite that drive, there are still a lot of dark aspects to the plot. Rymir is referring to more than just being disregarded. He is discussing being followed, threatened, and even fired upon. After he filed a civil lawsuit and shared photos of the damage, he says someone shot at his car. Additionally, he claims that before he was stopped, something was placed inside his car. It's filthy if any of this stuff is accurate. That is outright intimidation, not merely PR management. This is when a far darker connection begins to emerge. Do you remember Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez's arranged daughter, Demery Hadley? She recently made some shocking assertions of her own. Diori claims that Roc Nation has been deliberately stifling voices, particularly Nicki Minaj's. She claimed that they attempted to silence Nicki's platform, assaulted her family, and professionally undermined her. She went on to say, "If it happened to me and I'm the CEO's daughter, imagine what they've done to others." That struck a chord. Because Rymir isn't the only one who claims to have been silenced. Dare is supporting Nicki's assertion. A trend is beginning to emerge, and neither Jay-Z nor Roc Nation appears to be doing well. Nicki is no longer even trying to be subtle. She has publicly said that she has been shadow banned online, that Jay-Z owes her money, and that she has been professionally blackballed. She is now standing directly next to Rymir, publishing his narrative and pressuring Jay to reply. This is no longer a fan conspiracy. It's becoming a well-known dogpile on one of the most influential musicians. What does that mean for Jay-Z, then? In a corner, the public is closely monitoring every action like hawks, the courts are engaged, celebrities are hovering, and receipts are being uploaded. Jay may actually need to appear, speak out, and take the exam for the first time in years. Furthermore, if he doesn't, the silence may reveal more than any DNA analysis could. Rymir isn't requesting payment. He's not out here pleading for Jay-Z's table, popularity, or influence. His desires are far more intimate. The reality. This case hit is unique because of that. He isn't looking for a settlement or a last name. He is seeking enlightenment. He stated it clearly. Take the test, demonstrate that Jay-Z is not his father, and put an end to this. However, if he is, come clean and quit concealing. For Rymir, dignity is more important than money. His displeasure extends beyond Jay-Z to the whole justice system. He has been accusing courts and attorneys of years of dishonest conduct, saying they have purposefully steered the case into a labyrinth of postponements and rejections. This legal red tape, in his opinion, wasn't an accident. It was a calculated game of influence, money, and power in which the pursuit of truth was never the aim. Ramirez even claimed that fictitious court orders were used to impose unlawful restrictions on his family's house. This was never a fair battle, in his opinion. The absurd thing is that a lot of this has happened in front of the public. Jay-Z's legal team said that since he didn't own real estate in New Jersey, he couldn't be made to submit to a DNA test there. However, people were left wondering how long that defense could last when Rymir produced receipts confirming that Jay-Z did, pointing back to his own inner circle. There are also claims that Jay-Z's team attempted to resolve this amicably years ago, talking about possible music opportunities for Rymir and even thinking about signing him to Roc Nation. However, everything fell apart when Rymir's godmother insisted that he complete high school first. Attorneys abruptly retreated, and doors crashed. Another, much heavier stratum is present here. This goes beyond a paternity test if Jay-Z did hook up with Wanda when she was 16 and he was 22. It could have major legal repercussions. Sleeping with a juvenile and crossing state borders. It may be illegal in addition to being ethically dubious. Jay's team has probably worked so hard to avoid any kind of public court proceedings because, once that is presented before a judge, things take a very different turn. Rymir hasn't exactly been quiet in the interim. He has shared court documents, interviews, and even in-depth accounts of incidents in which he alleges that someone attempted to hurt or threaten him. He claims that there was an attempt on his life. Right up. He said that individuals attempted to deliver a message, followed him, and fired at his vehicle. That isn't typical conduct in a paternity dispute. That is something more sinister and perilous. Furthermore, it becomes much more unsettling when you take a broader view. The accusations of intimidation, shadow banning, and industry repression are all similar to what Demi Hadley and Nicki Minaj have been stating regarding Roc Nation. The same design, but different stories. Allegedly, powerful individuals are working behind the scenes to silence voices they don't like. Rymir is no longer afraid. He has receipts. People are supporting him. The court is now paying attention to him. The due date has been established. Jay-Z must answer. No longer hiding. Stop putting things off. No more justifications. This isn't a PR controversy or a rap feud. A young man is attempting to find closure. Everyone is watching to see what comes next. Because Rymir may finally receive the truth, the one thing he has been denied during this decade's protracted battle, for the first time.